Boom, let's go.
Hi,
Kaden, your turn. Your turn for improv story.
Okay, I got one. Once there was this girl who always wore a green. It's more like a horror story. Once there was a girl with a green, kind of like scarf around her neck, green scarf that she always wore. And there's a boy next door that was her friend that they both really liked each other. So when they got older, they finally married each other, and he still asked every day, "Why do you wear the green scarf?" And he's like, "I will tell you one day." Then one day when they were really old and had kids and all of that, she was sleeping in bed really sick, about to die, and she's like, "Now I will tell you the story of why I always wear the ribbon." And then she took, and then she
because she had a heart attack.
No. Then she untied the ribbon and her head fell off.
Oh!
Wait, what?
Who's that?
Wait, I wasn't listening. Can you do that again? I'll let her head fall off. I'm so sad. The poor old lady.
So basically when they were married, she said, "I will finally now tell you why." When she was sick, she finally said to her husband, "I will finally tell you why I always wear the scarf." She told him to untie the scarf, and when he did, her head fell off.
Oh, okay, I get it now. So the scarf held up her head.
Basically.
That's some crazy stuff.
That's pretty cool. I like that story though.
I read it in a horror book.
Well then. So much for improv.
So I cried in class one time.
Why?
I have too. I missed my mom.
No,
what?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, were you like 5 in kindergarten or something?
Yeah, it was like.
No, I cried in middle. I cried in 6th grade because I missed my mom. But I mean, there was So this girl.
I found a match.
Her name was Madeline, and she was telling. So she brought this horror book to class. Okay. And she told the story, and I got scared. Like so much. I hate horror movies and books and stuff. And she jumped at me because I was sitting at her, and they in the book it says jump at the nearest person. Oh dude, I freaking it was scary. I was sitting next to her, and she's like, the head fell down the chimney, and the next thing you hear is freaking jumped at me and threw the book at me. I was like, oh god, no! And I started freaking crying. It was so scary.
One time I cried on the bus because I kept on getting bullied.
Alright.
Okay.
Who's gonna do the next improv story? Because I already did mine.
No, we're just gonna focus on the game now. This is weird.
No.
No, I like it.
Make an improv story. We won last time because there were stories. Improv.
Yeah, obviously.
Go. Kaden, your turn. Go ahead.
Alright.
After this, can we focus about the game, please? After this, can we focus on
that means you made it up, right? Improv is like
yeah, improv. You just make it up on the spot.
Okay. So, there was this kid you guys turned upside down.
There's once this kid who had diabetes, the end.
Shut up.
Round 1.
What? Wow, what is the story?
Okay, so, there was this kid, okay? Her name was Kelsey.
Oh.
She woke up one day, and she was like, oh,
She died of diabetes, the
can't
end.
wait to go in the room next to mine. And then she looks out the door and she realizes that her brother is there. And she's like, ew, my brother, that's gross. So then she turned around, and then she was all like, oh no, you know what, I'm gonna go home, even though I'm already in my house. I don't even know what I'm talking about, I'm high, who cares? So then she's like, oh my, this is a quite interesting story that I'm telling inside my head. And then she realizes that her life is a lie. And then she turns around and guess what? It was the ghost of her dead brother that she murdered there because she was freaking out because she was like, yep, the end. Good job, great story, I win.
Dang. How about your turn?
Okay, I've got a joke. Okay, so Jim has 100 chocolate bars.
It's an improv story, not jokes.
No, this is an improv story I'm making up in my head. Jim has 100 chocolate bars. He gives...
I want one.
We didn't ask for you to make a math question.
He eats 25 of them and then eats the rest. Now what does he have?
Wait, how many did he start with?
He has 100 chocolate bars. He eats 25 of them and then eats the rest. Now what does he have?
Diabetes.
Dang it, you've heard that before.
Yeah,
No,
we've heard that before.
no, it's just because you just made a joke about diabetes, so obviously it's gonna be the same joke.
Oh.
Yeah. Come on, what the frick
You
are you
guys
doing?
see
Your mom.
No.
My turn.
I died.
So,
No, just stop. No. Aiden, you're going to stop, please.
An adorable little child. Everyone loves him. He was such a cute
Wait, did you say his name was Billy or Lily? Did you say Billy or Lily?
Could you protect me from, and he's like,
And then his name was Connor.
And his friend, and he has this friend named
Harabe's raping me!
And then he's like, hey Conhead, you really are annoying sometimes. And Conhead's like, yeah, well shut the frick up, because I'm about to mess you up, fam. Because they were doing a 1v1. And Billy's like, well then, I guess that's one person who doesn't like me. And he's like, and Conhead's like, what are you talking about? I like you. Not really, haha, get wrecked, nerd. And Billy's like, okay, well,
I really like this guy. I really like this Connor guy. He's
Conhead, even Conhead. So then Billy goes outside and plays with his best friend. His name was Finkel. So he's like,
Pimple? Did you say Pimple?
I said Finkel.
Oh, I thought you said Pimple.
Oh, you're ruining his story.
Stop ruining the story.
Well, I don't like the story.
It's like Finkel. Are you up to play some games of basketball?
Take
Like,
over.
yeah, I'm always. Are you? He's like, yeah, bro. I'm always ready to play some basketball with my best friend. And then they're like, okay, let's play some basketball. And so he's like, do you have the ball? It's like, no, my ball's flat. So then he's like, okay, I'll bring mine. And so Billy, he goes into his garage and he's like, oh, okay, where's my basketball? And then he can't find his basketball. So then he's like, Finkel, there's a problem. I don't know where my basketball is. And then Finkel's like, here, I have an idea. So then he goes up to Billy's crush's door and he's like, hey, do you want to play some basketball with us? And then Jennifer, that's Billy's crush, is like, yeah, I'd be totally up for that, fam. And then she gets her basketball and they go out to play a couple games. So the whole time Billy's super nervous and can hardly speak to make any of like the call outs, like over here. So they lose because it was a 1v2 with Jennifer and Jennifer being alone on her own team. So then Finkel's like, dude, what's the problem? And he's laughing because Finkel knows that Jennifer is Billy's crush, and he's like, why would you do this? And he's like, because you guys need to get to know each other better. Then he's like, you know what, fine, I'll talk to her. So he goes over to Jennifer and he talks very stutter, like, stops with a stutter. He's like, Jennifer, you were really good. So then Jennifer's like, thank you? And then Billy's like just staring at her the whole game, and Jennifer's like, "What's your problem?" It's like, and then Finkel comes by, and he's like,
I love tomorrow.
Billy kid over here has a crush on you. And it's like, and Jennifer's like, no way, because I have a crush on Billy, and they're like, oh, and then Billy finally speaks, and he's like, no wait, really? Are you joking with me? And she's like, no, you're like my biggest crush of all time. And then, yeah, hold on. And then Billy's like, and then they finally, then they go to school together the next day, and they're having super fun time. And then Jennifer's friend comes by, and she's like, oh my gosh, I've been noticing that you have been spending a lot of time with this Billy kid over here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, and you haven't been spending time with us, like, oh my gosh. And then Jennifer's like, listen, he's my new boyfriend. And then Billy's like, wait, what? And then Jennifer's like, yeah, you're my boyfriend, right? And Billy's like, yeah, sure. And then, so then the Jennifer's friend is like, oh my gosh, you're so disgusting. Billy, oh my gosh, like the grossest kid in school. You're so disgusting.
But it turns out I like him anyways because I think he's cute.
Oh, shut up, hold on, you're ruining my story. And then Jennifer's like, what are you talking about? You know he's been my crush for like ever. And he's like, yeah, and he's gross. I don't like him. Yeah, no, hold on. So, and then I was like, oh wait, I have to go eat, so see ya.
Who is that?
Oh man, he's her.
Who was that? Who said that?
That was Aiden.
Huh. That sounded like Naz.
Yeah, I did, didn't it? That really didn't sound like Aiden.
Well, he's getting suspended though.
Yeah, I know.
You're not gonna be able to play with him.
I know. Man, we're losing a lot. Maybe because we need another tank. I'll go. Oh, never mind. We just got another. Thank goodness. Aiden, please. Aiden.
Thank goodness, Aiden, if you have to go eat, can you like wait until the game's over?
Right,
We don't want you to get
time to
suspended.
finish my story. And Jennifer's like, you know what? If you don't like them, then we don't have to be friends. So then they stop being friends, and Billy's like, you didn't have to do that. And she's like, no, I like you a lot. And he's like, oh, well, thank you. So then Billy's like, so, I mean, what are we gonna do? And they're like, you wanna go play some basketball over at the courts with your friend Finkel? And he's like, yeah, we can do that. So then they play a game of basketball, and then it's time to go they're back to class. So they go so they go to class, and they're like, oh my, and then they're like, and then it turns out they sat next to each other the whole school year, and they haven't really noticed because they were paying so much attention in school because they like schoolwork for some reason.
Yeah, learn.
God.
So yeah, then that happens.
I must reclaim my
Learning is power.
So then they're listening to the teacher, and they're like, and so it's like, so then they start whispering to each other. You know, it's really cool that you're my seat partner. It's like, yeah, it is, isn't it? So then finally school's over. I don't know why I included that part. It literally had no point into the story at all. So then school's finally over, and they go walk home together. So Billy's like, okay, well I guess Jennifer's like, okay, well thanks for walking me home, Billy, and Billy's like, yeah, it's no problem. And she's like, you know, you really are a cool kid. And she kisses him on the cheek, and then runs back to her front door. Runs to her front door. And then Billy's like super blush. His face might as well be a tomato. And so
I like
then
this story.
that happens. I know. So then that happens, and he gets to his house, and he gets online, and then Conhead's like, "Whoa, why weren't you on for so long? You're such a nerd. You know we need you in the team." And he's like, "You know what? I don't have to have to care about you anymore." And then he blocked him on the what's it called? On his Playbox 360, and because no copyright allowed here, bro. So then he blocks him on the Playbox, and he finally makes lots of new friends on his Playbox. And then he the next day he asked like, hey, do you have a Playbox account? Yeah, asked Jennifer, hey, do you have a Playbox account? And she's like, oh my gosh, that's like all I ever do pretty much. And he's like, oh, you should add me. And then they add each other, and then yeah, so then they add each other, and they play lots of their mind watches, and they play a lot of that together. They're having a fun time.
Mind watches?
Yeah, whatever. Mind watch. Yeah, they play a lot of mind watch. They play a lot of mind watch.
Like Overwatch and Minecraft.
It's like
Hey, shut up. Hold on. It's Mind Watch. It's Mind Watch. It's a game. It's like the hit game. It's the new hit game. So they have a lot of fun with that. And then they lived happily ever after together.
The end?
That's it. That's the end.
That was the end?
Aiden, no joke. Aiden, no joke. I actually kind of want to hear the story more.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll continue the story. So, it finally is Christmas Day. It's finally Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve. And Jennifer and Billy are still together, having a fun time together. They're super cool friends. And / girlfriend and boyfriend. And so basically, they're together, and they're so excited for Christmas Day because they both got each other some really cool presents. And Finkel's like off in the corner like, oh man, I wish I had some presents. And then Billy's like, what are you talking about? I got you a present. And he's like, oh, you did? And he's like, yeah. It's like, why wouldn't I? It's like, oh, I feel left out because you've been hanging out with Jennifer all the time. And I'm like, and then he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll hang out with you a lot more too.
Jerry,
oh,
no.
Kill me, please. End my life.
Jerry, no.
So yes, it's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Eve. They're having a fun time. They're like hanging around having their Christmas Eve party. So all of their friends are from school, and with all the decorations that they put like a little while ago from like the start of December. And so basically, so Jennifer's like, oh, you want to go hang out somewhere over here, Billy? And Billy's like, no, if you don't mind, I'm gonna hang out with the Finkel because you've been feeling left out. And he's like, and Jennifer's like, oh, okay, you can have fun with your friend. And so then Billy and Finkel, they're hanging out a ton. They're being super cool buds. In fact, they go out to play basketball, like winter basketball. It's like one of their favorite things to do. Ice basketball. It's like ice skating on a basketball course. It's super cool. So it's a game that they made up themselves. And so then they're doing that, and then we have to move to Jennifer's side. So Jennifer actually met some new friends after disfriending those other mean girls that were into Billy. So she's hanging out with them, and she's like, and her friend's like, oh my gosh, it's so cool that you and Billy are together. And it's like, oh yeah, thank you so much. And it's like, you know, he is really cute. And then Jennifer's like, yeah, he is. And so yeah, then that happens, and then they're doing their own thing too. They're like painting nails, they're wrapping presents and stuff, and they're like, and then they're like, and then her friend named Jenny, is like, Jenny's like, so what did you get him? And he's like, shh, I have to make it a surprise, but I'll whisper it to you. Oh, I got play of the game.
Just out of nowhere, like doing the story, like, oh, I got play of the game.
But yeah,
so random.
So then she's like, and then oh, Kaden left. Oh, well, that sucks. Really.
He got bored of the story. Kaden doesn't love us. He got offline. He actually got offline. Wait, did he? Yeah, he did. Yeah,
So I'm just gonna go into like quick play instead.
No, let's do 1v1. 1v1, mystery duels.
No, we're just gonna do quick play.
No,
we're just gonna be quick play.
No,
we're just gonna do quick play.
Fine then. After that, we can.
And then after this quick play match, I think I'm gonna end the stream. So then Jenny is like. So then Jenny's like, oh, what'd you get Billy for Christmas? And then she's like, here, I'll whisper it in your ear because I don't want him to hear. And then Jennifer's like, I got him the sequel to Mind Watch. I got him Mind Watch 2, the next step. And she's like, oh, I get what you're saying, wink wink. And she's like, okay.
Oh,
sure.
he's on. Wait, he's on. Wait, in the search.
I'll invite him. He needs to be able to hear the story.
Start over from like where he whispers it in his ear.
Yeah.
His internet probably crashed.
Yeah, that's probably what happened. Who knows?
You don't know with Ghost Swag.
Yeah, I know, right? Enjoy.
Ghost Swag! I'm gonna spam him.
Yeah, let me invite him again. Just in case he didn't get an invitation, like, I don't know, he didn't see it or something.
I'm gonna spam him. I still am. Ghost Swag and fudges. I'm gonna message him.
she's like, okay, I don't know why you winked. And then, so, basically, so then it cut, and then, and then she turns back, and Jenny's not there. And she's like, oh, shoot, where'd Jenny go? Oh, she's probably go wrapping some presents over there.
Kissing
so then
Billy.
she continues wrapping her presents and all that for the Christmas Eve party. And, and then it turns out, Jenny went outside to talk to Billy. And she's like, Billy, I know what Jennifer's getting you for Christmas. And she's like, and Billy's like, oh, what, really? What is... cuts to the next day. Oh, so what'd you give me, Jennifer? Like, and he's like, wink, wink. And then Jennifer's like, oh, I got you, something you've been really excited for. And he's like, oh, ooh, you did? He's like, yeah, I know you've been excited for this for a long time. And he's like, yay! So then when it finally comes to opening presents, Billy's like all super excited. And he's like, so then when he finally gets his present, he like puckers up his lips and he's like, it's like, and Jennifer's like, ew, what are you doing? And she's like, oh. And he's like, oh my goodness, you got me Overwatch 2, the next step. And then Jenny like saw it and she's like, oh god. And she's like, what have I done? And then Jennifer's like, oh, okay, that's cool. And he's like, and Billy was like, weren't you gonna give me? And then like it cuts off. And then he like, Jenny grabs him by the shoulder and like cuts him off and like pulls him into like a little corner. And he's like,
ooh.
Okay, shut up. She's like, okay, I may have made a little mistake when I told you what she got you for Christmas. And he's like, what do you mean? And he's like, so basically what she told me, she said she was getting Overwatch 2 the next step, and I thought that meant the next step in your relationship. And he's like, oh, so you thought she was gonna kiss me on the, oh, that makes sense. So then it cuts, and then he's like, oh, okay, well, whatever. Hope it's not too awkward. And then he goes back to Jennifer, and then he's like, okay, well, thank you for the game. It's really cool. I'm so excited. And she's like, and then he's like, Billy, and then Billy's like, oh, I almost forgot. And she gives the present to Jennifer, and he's like, and then she opens it, and she's like, oh my gosh, you got me Overwatch 2, the next step. And she's like, yeah, I mean, I thought you might like it too. So then she's like, oh yeah, we can play together. Awesome. On the second Overwatch. And then they're like, yeah, woohoo, fun. And then so then they're like, oh man, it's super cool. We got the same game, and now we get to play together when we get back home. And they're like, yep, that's cool. And then so they go to sit on the couch together, and then Finkel, as a little prank, decides to take some mistletoe and put it over Jennifer and Billy's head. And he's like, and then Finkel's like whispers in Billy's ear, and he's like, look up. And then Billy looks up, and his face goes completely red. And then Jennifer's like, what's the problem? And she looks up, and then her face goes like entirely red. Like they're both looking at each other, super red faced.
Tomatoes looking at each other.
And like, well, I guess we're gonna have to kiss. So then finally they lean, and then they kiss each other on the lips. Mwah. And then everyone like sees it, and they're like, aww. And then their face goes completely red, like I mean entirely red. It literally looks like their heads are two cherries.
And they explode.
And then they're like, oh no. And then they feel super embarrassed. And like all of the kids are like, aww. And they're like, Billy and Jennifer sit in a tree. And then they're like kind of crying a little bit on the inside. So they're like, okay, let's just go out into the backyard So then they go out into the backyard, and they're like, man, those kids don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what true love is, says Jennifer. And Billy's like, yeah, I guess. They're sitting on the bench, and they're like, you know, I'm so glad I get to be in a relationship with you. And he's like, yep, I agree. And then they give each other nice, good hugs, and the Christmas party continues. The end. Part good. Take 2.
It's the end.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
Should I make more of the story? It's kind of hard, to be honest.
No, it's fine.
I'm like really.
I think it's funny how I don't think my viewers can hear you, so all they hear is like blackness, like they don't hear anything. Go to party settings, I think, and then allow your voice to be. Mine is too. The last.
If it wasn't always allowed, then my viewers wouldn't be able to hear me. You're good. Because literally, it would literally just be a long pause of literally nothing.
Okay, well, I guess we can go play now. Caden's still not joining.
The comp, just you and me. Wait for Caden.
That sounds weird.
If Caden joins, I swear if Caden, what? I swear if Caden joins, like, in the middle of the comp game, I'm gonna cry. Like, oh,
I don't think he is.
Like he's not getting time earlier. Yeah, I don't think he is. He's dead. He's dead right now. Maybe he's watching YouTube. Maybe he was only supposed to watch YouTube.
And then his dad walked in, so he quickly like turned off the PlayStation. And then he's like, and then he like pretended, and then his dad's like, hey, you know you can't be playing this, and you can only watch YouTube. Exactly. So he got back on and watched YouTube.
Exactly.
By the way, I did a perfect impression of his dad. You can't be doing that.
Okay. So, should I continue the story or make a new one?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm getting kind of bored of hearing the story.
Billy and Jennifer's story.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. I gotta think about the words.
One darkness, stormy night, they're feeling alone in bed.
Alrighty then. That's where we're starting it. So it was still December. It was still December, kind of getting close to. It was getting close to January, but it was nowhere near New Year's Eve. It was past Christmas.
Okay. By the way, Aiden, I like it. Wait, you said it's nowhere near New Year's Eve, yet it's almost January.
It's getting closer.
Oh,
it's getting closer.
You said it's nowhere near.
It's supposed to make it sound like my story's cool. So it's a snowy and stormy night.
Wait,
Aiden,
wait. Christmas is on December 25th, and then like January 1st.
Oh my goodness! I know. Stop giving me the math. It's supposed to sound cool. All right. Okay. So it was a dark. So Jennifer had come to hang out with Billy a little bit, and Billy. And then it started to get really snowy, and it had like a super snowstorm and stuff. So
they built an igloo and made out at the end.
Oh my, shut up. So they were they were at Billy's house, and so yeah, that was happening. And she was at Billy's house, and she was like, oh man, it really is snowy. So they were playing a lot of Mind Watch like before it was time to go to bed, and then Billy's mom walks in, and he's like, okay, I think it's time for you to go home, Jennifer. And then he's like, oh, and then Billy's mom's like, and she looks out the window and she sees like super snowy, like it's crazy snowy. She's like, oh no, you can't go home on this weather. You can stay here for tonight. Billy, you're gonna sleep on the couch today. Jennifer, you can take his room. And then
just straight up.
And then Jennifer's like, oh, okay, thank you, Billy's mom.
Wait, I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's just like straight up, Billy, get out of your bed, you're sleeping on the couch, Jennifer's getting in your bed.
Yeah.
Just like pure cruelty.
It's not cruelty, it's just like the plans. So then that's happening, so they're playing lots of Mind Watch, and then Billy's mom finally walks in and is like, oh, the storm hasn't cleared up yet still? Alrighty then. So I guess it's time for you to go to bed.
Just your
two.
character, Aiden. I'm just kidding. You can be
Okay,
rude.
fine. I guess I'm going first. So it's like, okay, we'll go to bed now. And then, so Jennifer heads up to Billy's room. And, Billy is like getting cozy in the couch. And he's like, and he's got his blankets and stuff. And then, so it's like, he's trying to sleep and stuff. He's about to go to bed until Jennifer comes down. And she's like, hey, can you come into your room? I'm kind of scared and really cold. And he's like, and then his face gets red and he's like, yeah, sure. So he heads upstairs and follows Jennifer into his room. And then he's like, here, I'll sleep on the floor over here. And you can sleep on the bed. And then she's like, okay, thank you. So yeah, then that's happening. And again, Billy's trying to go to bed. And he's super close to sleeping, but then he hears Jennifer's like teeth rattling against each other, like she's really cold. And so yeah, so that she's really cold, and he's like, and he gets up, and he gets on his bed, and he puts his arm, and he like lays down next to Jennifer, puts his arm over her, and then she's like super surprised, so she kind of jumps a little. And then Billy's like, oh no, it's okay, it's just me. And she's like, oh, okay. So they're going to bed. So they're like super red. Their faces are crazy red. And then they're finally going to bed. And they go to bed, and yeah. So the next morning, Jennifer like wakes up Billy's like, oh shoot, you have to get out of the bed and go on the floor. Go sleep on go pretend like you're sleeping on the floor before your mom walks in and sees us in the bed together, and because she might get wrong thoughts. So then he's like, oh yeah, you're right. So he gets up and goes on the floor, and then his mom finally walks in and he's like, I have breakfast for you too, and he's like, oh okay, thank you, Mom. And he's like, oh wait, and there's like, Jennifer's like, oh thank you, Billy's mom, and Billy's mom notices Billy on the floor, and he's like, what are you doing here? I thought you were gonna sleep on the couch. He was like, yeah, but Jennifer got scared, so I wanted to make sure that she wasn't too scared, so I slept here. And he's like, oh okay. So they finally have breakfast, and so yeah, they finally have breakfast and some nice waffles, some good waffles. And Jennifer's like, oh my goodness, thank you, Billy Mom, these are amazing. And Billy's like, yeah, she's a pretty good cook. And Billy's mom's like, oh please, I'm humbled that you said that. And then Jennifer's like, you should be on a cooking show. She's like, yeah, but I've got to take care of this little guy. And she like pinches Billy's cheek. And he's like, Mom. And then, so yeah. And then Jennifer's like laughing, kind of. She's kind of like smirking over there. Like just kind of smirking. And then, so then, yeah, that happened. And then she's like, the storm's cleared up. You should probably walk Jennifer home, Billy. And he's like, yeah, you're probably right. So, so they're walking home. Billy's walking Jennifer to her home. And they reach the front door, and they both smile at each other before. They both smile at each other. So, and then they give each other a big hug, and then they part ways. And then Jennifer goes back into the house, and yeah. The end.
Nice.
That's the end of there. You got any reactions about it? Did you like it? Did you guys like
I loved it.
Story? Oh man, it's so good. I should do a story about it. Okay.
Justice reigns from above.
There's one.
It's got triple kill.
That's cool.
Got triple.
Dude, my stories are the reason we win.
I know, I love your stories. Like, no joke, you could actually be a writer when you grow up. I'm serious, Aiden. Your stories are really good.
Thanks, Combat. Okay, I think I have a good idea for the next part of the story. You ready? Chapter 3. No, chapter 4. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. It's summertime. Summertime, Billy and Jennifer are still together like always, and they're hanging out. So yeah. So they're going shopping for summer stuff, like summer clothes and stuff. And like a swimsuit, like, cause they're going to take a trip to,
Hawaii.
say Palm Springs. Yeah, Hawaii. We'll say they're taking a trip to Hawaii. So they're shopping for clothes and stuff. They're shopping for like, and they're like getting stuff to pack and all that.
With every death comes
And they get like goggles, they get swimsuit, they get like swimsuits and stuff. So they go back home after getting all their stuff packed, and they get all their stuff packed and they get all their stuff packed and they're ready to go. So the next morning, it's time for their flight to Hawaii. And it turns out that they slept in a little bit, so they're feeling pretty rushed.
It's like Home Alone all over again. It's like Home Alone all over
Yeah,
again.
exactly. So yeah, I know. So they're really rushed to get all their stuff ready and to the airport.
I grow tired.
Who the frick, I'm trying to finish the story, yet this kid joined. I can't finish my story. I feel too pressured, so I don't like them. I'll finish my story. So no, I'm just kidding. I'll finish my story. So basically they're feeling rushed. They get all their stuff that was packed from last night, and well, at Billy's house.
I'm a dummy.
Billy and Billy's mom, they're getting all this stuff and they're ready to go. So then Billy's mom like rushes, like he's like, okay, it's time to get in the car. So they get in the car. So Billy gets in the car, and so does Billy's mom. And then they like almost Jennifer. They almost get caught with the ticket, and they get away with saying that they needed to get to the airport. And they're like, okay, well, and then the cop's like, okay, you can keep going. And so then they finally get in front of Jennifer's house. They get to Jennifer's house, and then Billy texts Jennifer. It's like, okay, we're outside. You and your mom can come out now and get in the car. And they're like, oh, okay. And then so then they come in, and they're rushing all the way to Finkel's house because Finkel's also coming on the trip with them. So then they get Finkel and his mom out, and then yeah. So then they're all.
So basically, 3 moms and 3 kids.
Yes, there is. Yep, exactly. So yes. So then by the way, they're all single moms. By the way, they're all single moms.
Ooh.
So they get to the airport. Oh, shut up. Shut up. So they get to the airport and they're like rushing all the way. They get their bags and everything. They're rushing all the way. And they make it to the gate like barely just in time. They're literally about to close the gates. And so then they finally make it in, and they're like feeling all relaxed and stuff, and they're in their seats. Jennifer, Finkel, and Billy, they all had a seat next to each other. And so yeah, they were hanging out. So the whole car ride, they were just kind of goofing off and just like they were playing with their like tape. They were like drawing stuff and all that, doing drawing contests and stuff. So yeah, that was happening. Yeah, whatever. So they were drawing all of their like imaginary stuff, and like they were just kind of imagining how it'd be back in going to Hawaii. So they're super excited. They're like, oh my goodness, yay, this is gonna be so fun. So they're landing. They make it to Hawaii, and they're like, woohoo! So they put on their sunglasses, and they're like, oh yes, Hawaii, here we come. So then they go outside the airplane, and they're like, oh man, this place is awesome. You already feel like the nice warm air, and then it's like, yeah, I can see the ocean already. I can already see the ocean. They're like, yes, it's amazing. And so yeah, so then they take a taxi to their hotel room. Or no, they take a taxi to a car rental. So they rent a car, and then they ride the rental car to their house or to the hotel. And so they do that. They're riding all the way to the hotel. They made it to the hotel, and so yeah, they're at the hotel and stuff. So they're all getting unpacked and all that. Yeah, they're getting all unpacked and stuff, right? So and then they're already getting ready to go to the pool. So it's time for them.
The
to go
pool.
to
They should go to the
30
beach.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, the beach. Yeah, well they have a pool like they have a super cool pool. They want to go to the pool first because it's like the hotel and stuff. So they're going to the pool. They're getting ready to go to the pool, and then they're all excited. They get their like pool noodles and all that. Get the pool noodles. They're what are they called? The donuts and stuff, like the donut floating things, and all that. So finally they get everything and they're ready to go into the pool. It turns out the pool wasn't even that packed that day for the hotel. So they get all their stuff and they're super excited and they jump in. They jump into the pool and they're like, oh yeah, cowabunga! So they all jump in and they're all like relaxing on their floaties and stuff and just kind of like floating around, swimming a whole bunch, you know, doing all kinds of fun kid stuff, right? And they're just hanging out in the pool. And then it turns out they were so excited. They were so excited to go into the pool that they forgot to put on sunblock. So when they get back to the hotel, they're all burnt, and it's like, oh my goodness, what are we supposed to do? And room service, like and she's like, the room service knocks on the door and it's like, would you like to have your food? And she's like, oh yeah, come in. And so the girl who brought the room service is like, oh wow, you kids are all burnt up. And he's like, yeah, we forgot to put on sunblock. And he's like, oh, you should probably go down to our gift shop and get some like aloe, like our aloe thing, and to like rub on your burns so it makes it a lot less worse. So then it's like, oh, thank you for the suggestion. We'll be sure to do that. So they go down and they're like, and then yeah. So
and I have to leave, which I'm like kind of sad about.